Are you considering making a move to Nashville, Tennessee? If so, then you're gonna wanna stay tuned because yes, I love living in Nashville, but it doesn't come without a couple of its pitfalls. So today's topic, I'm gonna be diving into the 5 reasons I love Nashville and the 5 things I could really do without. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Davis and I am a local Nashville real estate agent. I am with Weichert Realtors, the Andrews Group. And today's topic, I'm diving into the 5 reasons why I love Nashville, the 5 reasons why I hate Nashville, even though I really don't like using the word hate. So we're just gonna say it's the 5 things that I could really do without. So let's go ahead and jump into the good stuff, right? So number 1 is going to be live music. Now, I think that those of us who've either lived in Nashville a long time or maybe we've lived here our whole lives can really take for granted just how fortunate we are with just how much live music is really at our fingertips, right? So of course, not only do we have our world famous honky-tonks where you can legitimately hear live music every single night of the week, but we also have our other world famous venues. So we have the Bluebird, which people travel from all over the world to try to cram into that tiny space for a singer-songwriter night. We also have the Ryman Auditorium. We also have the Grand Ole Opry. Of course, we have Bridgestone Arena. And of course, we have Ascend Amphitheater, which is down by the riverfront. And that doesn't even begin to cover all of the smaller music venues. So we are just so unbelievably fortunate to have so much live music at our fingertips. I think what really sets Nashville apart is the fact that we are really into that singer-songwriter niche area. So it's really awesome to be able to go to a singer-songwriter night, a songwriter round, where you get to hear the stories behind these famous songs that you've heard, but you don't know where they came from or maybe who wrote them. Because, you know, what some people don't know is that sometimes the artists actually aren't writing some or all of their songs. And so it's just really cool to kind of see the magic behind the country music industry. And you know, one of the really cool things is Nashville is not just limited to country music. We've actually really started to broaden our range, and we even have some pop in town now, but then of course, like, we have all of these world famous acts that tour through Bridgestone. So really and truly, I just love how much live music we have, and it's something that I hope that I never take for granted. Number 2, there is so much opportunity here. You know, if you are moving to town for music, or if you are moving to Nashville because you just want to live here, we have so many different jobs across so many different industries. We're really fortunate to have a diverse job economy. But more than that, if you're an entrepreneur or if you are here chasing a dream, the really cool thing about Nashville is there's just so much creativity and energy that really and truly the sky's the limit. So whatever it is that you're dreaming of, whatever it is that you're chasing down, Nashville is a great place to do that because, again, this is kind of a city of dreams, right? And so people want to support you. People want to help you. We have a great sense of community here. So really and truly, whatever your heart desires, the Nashville community is really gonna help build you up in that. Number 3 is gonna be our volunteer spirit. So there's a reason why Tennessee is called the volunteer state. Now, yes, I went to the University of Tennessee. I will say go VOLS and bleed orange and wear all the UT stuff for my whole life. But really and truly, just in Nashville, especially Nashville, you know, at the recording of this video, we have recently been through a couple of just really tough months. We went through the devastating tornadoes. Then of course, we've been dealing with the virus, and especially after the tornadoes hit, it happened in the middle of the night, but to see the amount of people that showed up, complete strangers, to volunteer to help their neighbor, it was something unlike anything else. Like, I mean, people were constantly commenting on just the volunteer spirit that we have. You know, this was something that was seen back in 2010 when we had the flood. So really and truly, there is something incredibly special about the Nashville community and their desire to just help one another, especially in times of need. So that is something that I'm just really, really proud of. Number 4 has to be the scenery. I know I've talked about this in other videos and I maybe sound like a broken record, but I just feel like I can't stress enough just how much I love it. Nashville, Middle Tennessee in general is absolutely stunning. I mean, of course you have East Tennessee with the mountains, which is beautiful as well. And it's one of those cool things where you can kind of turn the curve or turn the corner and then all of a sudden you see this beautiful view of these rolling hills when the sun's hitting it. It is just absolutely stunning. And I know I've talked to a lot of my other clients who have recently located to Nashville from out of state, and they all talk about the same thing, that they just didn't realize how beautiful Nashville was. And it's just something that they find that's really peaceful for them as well. And number 5, I feel like is probably gonna be a little bit of a hot take, but hang on with me for just a second. So the number 5 reason why I love Nashville is the honky-tonks. And I know that it can be like, why? They're tourist traps, whatever, but really and truly, where else in the world are you gonna get to experience something like our honky-tonks? I mean, we have people that travel all across the world to come see them, experience them, and I just think it's really neat, and I do think we take it for granted. Now, no, locals are not ones to just go hit Broadway all the time. That doesn't happen. But I think it is really cool to revisit every once in a while and just remember how grateful we are to just live in a place that has something as special as our honky-tonks. Okay, so now that we talked about all the good things that I love about Nashville, let's talk about the 5 things that I could really do without. And the number 1 thing that's gonna top the list every single time is gonna be the stereotype. So I cannot tell you how many times I've heard people say that they thought that we were all gonna be hicks, or that we wear cowboy boots and cowboy hats all the time, or that we're some crazy religious people that are gonna like beat you over the head with a Bible and, you know, just shove religion down your throat. All of those could not be further from the truth, okay? So let's kind of debunk these a little bit. We are not all hicks. You know, Nashville continues to attract more new diverse businesses than any other city of its size over the last 20 years. So we continue to attract more business. We continue to attract people from all over the country. So no, we are not all hicks. Just because we like Southern food does not make us hicks. Again, we do not all wear cowboy boots and cowboy hats every day. In fact, it's actually really easy for us to spot somebody that's a tourist because they're gonna be rocking the cowboy boots and the cowboy hats. We just typically are gonna be wearing, you know, normal, stylish, trendy clothes. We're just, you know, it's yes, if you go to a country concert, right, you're probably gonna be pulling out your cowboy boots. But other than that, that's not a part of our everyday fashion wear. And then the 3rd one, in terms of that we're all like crazy religious and whatnot. So in the near decade that I've been living in Nashville, I know that it's really easy to think that because we're in the South, that we could be overly religious and shove it in your face. I get where people might think that, but in the near decade that I've been in Nashville, that could not be further from the truth. Yes, we do have religious organizations. We have all different kinds of religion, but I have yet to see religion being shoved into somebody's face. For the most part, you're not gonna be dealing with that whatsoever. You are free to believe and practice whatever it is that you believe and practice. Number 2 is going to be our traffic. So this is something that I could seriously do without. If I could snap my fingers and tomorrow we would have no more traffic, I would absolutely do that in a heartbeat. It drives me bananas. Now, you know, I'm gonna be the first to admit I'm not the most patient driver, but really and truly, you have to think about this. So when Nashville's interstates and roadways were built, this was well before our boom ever hit. And so never in a million years did those people who designed our interstates and our roadways, never did they imagine that we were going to see the massive influx of people that we've seen. Well, now everyone's here and it's caused some major traffic. Now, of course, if you are traveling in those rush hour times, you have got to take that into account when it comes to your commute time, because you are gonna be hitting standstill traffic. One of the things that I find just kind of poorly designed in general, to be honest, is that we will have a lot of on-ramps coming onto the interstate, but then just a quarter of a mile down the road, we'll have an exit ramp. So you're really gonna have these issues, right? So you've got people coming on and trying to merge over, while at the same time you have other people trying to merge over to get to the exit ramp. So it can cause a lot of traffic, a lot of confusion. It's just really messy. And then the other thing that really drives me bonkers about the traffic is the fact that people here, and I don't know if this is just specific to Nashville or not, but people here do not really accelerate getting on and on ramp, trying to catch up to the speed of traffic. Yes, Nashville does have traffic and I hate it. Number 3 is gonna be our high rental rate. So Nashville used to be far more affordable when it came to rental prices, but of course in the last almost decade, as so many people have moved to town, it has only driven up, I mean, of course it's driven up our home prices, but it's really driven up our rental rates. In fact, just last year, our rental rates went up 3%, which is kind of unheard of. We have some of the more expensive rental rates in the country, and so that does make it really challenging. You know, a lot of people are forced to go the roommate route just so that they can make it work financially, but just to see our continual rental rates going up is just something that I really wish would go away. Number 4 is gonna be wait times at new restaurants. So I know I've mentioned before in another video that Nashville just continues to have new restaurants popping up all the time, which is fabulous because you really never run out of new places to try. But when a restaurant is new in Nashville, you cannot walk in. You absolutely must have a reservation, which is kind of annoying. Really and truly, in general in Nashville, whether the restaurant is new or not, you need to make a reservation unless, of course, it's more of a fast food type situation or kind of like a cafe type situation. But that can be a really big pain in the rear end when you're just trying to, you know, maybe you want to pop in and just try something and then you come to find out that they legitimately do not have any tables available for the next 12 hours. And number 5 is going to be our extremely high parking rates. So again, with just how much new construction and building is happening in Nashville, they're continuing to take parking lots and turn them into buildings. So what parking we do have left, they charge astronomical prices for. It can be hard to find parking, or you're gonna pay through the nose for parking. So again, this is something that I could seriously just do without. But there you have it, the 5 reasons why I love Nashville and the 5 reasons I hate Nashville, or just let's be honest, it's really the 5 things that I could do without. But what city doesn't have its pitfalls? Now, I could continue to go on about the reasons why I love Nashville, but if you want to learn more, you can go check out my video that I did about moving to Nashville, or if you're thinking about the Franklin area, I also did a video talking about the things that I absolutely love about Franklin. If I can ever answer any questions, or if you are thinking about making a move to Nashville, please feel free to reach out to me. All of my contact information is below. I'm Caitlin Davis, and I'll see you next time.